Okay, so welcome to another deep dive, everybody.
Yeah, hey.
Today, we are going deep on a topic that I think a lot of people will be interested in.
For sure.
We're going to be talking about oral sex,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to be drawing on a few different sources to kind of get a full picture of like all the different angles of this.
Yeah, the how-tos, the whys,
Yeah,
the surprising stuff,
yeah, exactly.
like everything.
All the bases.
This is like your shortcut to becoming an expert in oral sex without having to do all the research yourself.
Without reading all the books.
Right, exactly.
We're doing it for you.
Yeah, so we're going to give you the most valuable insights and hopefully give you a bunch of aha moments.
Right.
So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, it is fascinating how much attention this topic gets, right?
Yeah.
Like you think about it, and there are so many different euphemisms and slang terms,
Oh yeah.
like going down, giving head, all this stuff. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about it, think about it, and if you go online and search, you get millions of results.
Yeah.
It's clearly a hot topic.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a big part of, a lot of people's sex lives.
Yeah.
Whether it's, starting things off or finishing things off or the main event itself. Like, people are into this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we should probably just like define what we're talking about here.
Yeah, good point.
When we say oral sex, we're talking about using your lips and your tongue to
Yeah.
pleasure someone else's genitals, right? Like
Yeah.
licking, sucking.
Right.
And we should probably mention, like, the book we're looking at here uses some specific terms.
Yeah.
So fellatio, that's like oral stimulation of a penis in the scrotum.
Right, which a lot of people just call like a blowjob or giving head.
Yeah,
Exactly, and
yeah.
more casual.
More
That goes-
everyday language.
Yeah. And then there's analingus.
Right, rimming,
Yeah.
oral, anal contact.
Yeah, and I think the book makes a good point here.
Yeah,
It says that analingus is like an acquired taste.
it is for sure.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone's into it right away.
Not for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe you work your way up to that.
Yeah,
But, to each their own.
yeah, totally.
But anyway, so the book starts off in a really interesting way.
Yeah,
It dives right into why men love oral sex.
yeah.
And, obviously the physical sensations are huge. Right? It feels good.
Warmth, wetness.
Yeah. And like someone who knows what they're doing, with their mouth.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. There's
Yeah.
like a psychological component too.
Right. Yeah, the book gets into that.
Big time.
Yeah, like I was surprised by how much it focuses on that, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty insightful.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes this book stand out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's like, it's a real ego boost for a lot of men, right? Like they feel
Yeah.
desired,
Totally.
put on a
But that's-
pedestal.
they feel accepted too,
Yeah.
in a way that's like really intimate,
Yeah.
And then there's like even a sense of dominance
Oh, yeah.
for the guy in that moment, which is interesting.
It is interesting, yeah. Like, it's not something I would thought about
Yeah.
before,
Right.
but it makes sense when you read about it.
Yeah. And the book actually quotes this guy Naveen,
Oh, yeah.
and he says like, oral sex is a treat. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Like he's really into it.
Yeah, he makes it sound pretty amazing.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of guys would agree with him.
for sure.
But then the book, like, switches gears a little bit
Yeah.
and focuses on the giver
Right.
and, like, the power dynamic there.
Yeah, it challenges this idea that like the person giving oral sex is automatically submissive.
Right? Yep.
Like actually it's kind of the opposite. Like
Right.
when you initiate oral sex, you're kind of like
Yeah.
granting this like VIP access to your partner's pleasure.
Right.
And you have a lot of control over how much they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like the book even says it might tap into your inner dominatrix,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny,
It is funny.
but also like makes you think.
Yeah.
Like what do you think about that idea of like the giver having control?
I think it's true.
Yeah.
Like, you are the one creating that pleasure, right?
Yeah.
And that can be really powerful.
It can.
And then there's this idea of, like, a mental orgasm for the giver,
Yeah.
which the book talks about, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
satisfaction of bringing your partner so much joy.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of pleasure than, like, a physical orgasm.
Right.
It's more about giving,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's a good perspective.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about like how we view sex in general.
Yeah, totally.
And like on that note, the book has this like surprising fact about the legal status of oral sex.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Like it's still illegal in some states, like
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah, between consenting adults.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's wild.
Like, our laws are so out of touch with what people actually do
Totally.
in their own bedrooms.
Right.
Like, who are we to tell people what they can and can't do with their own
It's
bodies?
their business.
Yeah, then the book says, like, maybe this taboo nature is part of why oral sex has been, like, fetishized.
It could be.
Yeah, like, if something's off limits, it makes it more exciting.
Right. Forbidden fruit.
Yeah, totally.
And speaking of how we view it, the book talks about like how pop culture has shaped our ideas about oral sex.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like big moment, like that movie Deep Throat in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the whole Clint Lewinsky scandal
Right.
in the 90s. Like that really brought oral sex into the public conversation.
Yeah, it did.
Like it was everywhere.
Do you remember, like, where you were when that was happening?
Oh, yeah. I was in college.
Yeah, me too.
Like everyone was talking about it.
it was huge.
Yeah,
And pop culture, like, keeps bringing it up.
totally.
You know, there are movies like Chasing Amy where they talk about techniques.
Yeah. And music, too.
Oh, yeah, tons of music.
Like Madonna's, Like a Prayer,
yeah.
Liz Phair's Flower.
Yeah.
So many hip hop and R&B songs. Like
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
Yeah. And it's interesting how, like, these things can shape our comfort levels.
Totally.
Like, if you see it in a movie or hear it in a song,
Yeah.
it can make it seem more normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Acceptable.
Yeah.
The book even tells the story about this guy, Johann,
Oh, yeah.
whose wife performed oral sex on him at a wedding reception.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah, that's like next level.
Yeah.
But it shows you how, like, attitudes have changed,
For sure.
for some people at least.
Yeah. And it's interesting how, like, men's and women's magazines portray oral sex differently.
Yeah, the book talks about that.
Right. Like, women's magazines tend to focus on, like, the relationship aspect.
Yeah, intimacy, connection.
Yeah. But men's magazines are more about, like, the pure pleasure,
Right.
like just getting off,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it is kind of sad.
Like, it would be nice to see more nuanced portrayals in men's magazines.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, the book makes a good point about, like, not just accepting these media portrayals. Like, be aware of how they might be influencing you,
Yeah.
you know?
Think for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let the media tell you what to think.
Exactly.
But anyway, so, like, even with all this cultural visibility, there are still some weird things that happen.
Yeah.
Like, remember that whole dictionary thing in California?
Oh, yeah, where they tried to ban a dictionary.
Yeah, because it had the definition of oral sex.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But overall, I think the book is right that there's growing acceptance of oral sex.
Yeah.
Like, it's becoming more normal.
Yeah, it's not as taboo as it used to be.
Right.
And the research backs that up.
Yeah.
Like something like 90% of men and women between 25 and 44 have engaged in oral sex.
Yeah, so it's pretty common
Yeah.
across different orientations and age groups.
Yeah.
There's even this funny anecdote about Nancy Reagan
Oh, yeah.
and her alleged reputation in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, apparently she was really good at it.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Who knows if it's true? But it's a fun story.
It is a fun story.
Yeah, and it shows you how, like, attitudes have changed over time.
Yeah, totally.
Like, the baby boomers might have viewed oral sex differently.
Yeah, more reserved for, like, serious relationships.
Right.
But after the sexual revolution, things loosened up.
Totally.
And people started focusing more on technique
Yeah.
and mutual satisfaction.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think about the cultural differences, too.
Yeah.
Like, the book talks about how in France, oral sex has this, like, deeper emotional meaning.
Yeah, more romantic. But in the U.S., it's more like,
Just a thing you do.
yeah, more
Yeah.
practical, less
Yeah.
symbolic.
Yeah.
The book even talks about, like, whether humans are the only ones who do oral sex.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out we're not.
Yeah.
Like, bonobos and fruit bats do it too.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you wonder what other animals might be into it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You just don't know about it.
Right.
But anyway, so the book makes a good point about intimacy. Like, the level of intimacy associated with oral sex can vary a lot.
Yeah.
Like, for some people, it's super personal and vulnerable.
Yeah.
But for others, it's more casual.
Right.
Like, the book even mentions glory holes.
Yeah.
Like, where you don't even see the other person.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy, Adam, who talks about doing it in nightclub stalls,
Yeah.
like, just for an ego boost.
Yeah.
So it's a wide range.
Yeah, for sure.
But no matter how you view it, there's definitely physical intimacy involved.
Yeah.
Like, you're right up close to your partner's body.
Yeah. Face to groin.
Yeah,
It's intense.
it is.
And the book has this, like, interesting symbolic interpretation.
Yeah.
It says that oral sex is like a meeting point between our cultured selves
Right.
and our carnal selves.
Like where those two worlds collide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the book really emphasizes how important oral sex is in relationships.
Yeah.
Like it can be a real self-esteem booster.
Totally.
And it can definitely impact like the quality of your sex life. There's this guy, Brad, who tells this story about a high school experience
Oh, yeah.
that like really highlights how exciting it can be.
Yeah.
And the book talks about how oral sex allows you to like really target erogenous zones.
Yeah.
And it can be like a meditative Zen-like state for the receiver.
Yeah, just like blissful relaxation.
Yeah. So like after all this like cultural stuff,
Right.
the book gets into more practical stuff.
Yeah.
Starting with anatomy.
Yeah, gotta know the parts.
Yeah, right.
Like the book calls them the passion-inducing parts.
The passion-inducing parts.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand like the male anatomy
Right.
to really get good at oral sex.
Yeah.
So it talks about like the glands,
yeah.
which includes the foreskin if the guy's uncircumcised,
Right.
the urethral opening,
Yeah.
the corona,
Yeah,
the
like-
granulum.
Yeah, all the important bits.
Yeah.
It also covers the shaft, the scrotum,
Yeah.
and the perineum.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that the book points out like these areas have different levels of sensitivity.
Yeah, for sure.
So like gentle handling is usually best.
Unless the guy tells you otherwise.
Yeah. Unless they're like more into something else.
Right. Communication is key.
Yeah. Communication is a key.
Always.
Yeah. And then to give us some context for like all these physical sensations,
Right.
the book introduces the 5 phases of the sexual response cycle.
Yeah, the classic cycle.
Right. So it starts with desire,
Yeah.
then arousal,
Yeah.
then plateau,
Yeah.
then orgasm,
Yeah.
and then resolution.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty standard model.
Yeah, and it involves all sorts of physiological changes.
Yeah. Like increased blood flow,
Yeah, that's vasocongestion.
vasocongestion,
Yeah.
and then increased muscle tension.
Yeah, myotonia.
Myotonia.
Yeah.
It's like your whole body gets involved.
It does.
But the book is good about pointing out that not everyone follows this cycle in the same way.
Yeah, right?
Like some people might skip phases or experience them in a different order.
Yeah, or like some people might not even experience orgasm.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah, the book talks about that.
Yeah.
Like it's not always necessary for sexual satisfaction.
Right, yeah.
Like sometimes intimacy and connection are enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sex is about more than just reaching a climax.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then the book shifts focus to like the giver's main tool,
Right, the tongue.
the tongue.
The mighty tongue. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so flexible.
Yeah.
And it's got all these tiny bumps called papillae.
Papillae.
Yeah.
And it can taste.
Yeah, that's often overlooked.
Yeah.
But, like, taste is a big part of oral sex.
Yeah.
Like, the book says if you really tune into the taste and the smell and the touch and the temperature,
Yeah.
it can make it so much more erotic,
Totally.
like, for both partners.
Yeah.
There's this woman, Alina, who talks about, like, noticing all these subtle nuances
Oh, yeah.
when she really focuses on what her tongue is experiencing. It's like a whole new level of awareness.
Yeah, it's about being present
Totally.
in the moment.
Yeah,
So yeah, oral sex is definitely a multi-sensory experience.
it is.
So once you understand like the anatomy and your main tool,
Right.
the next step is figuring out positions.
Yeah.
Like the book has a whole section on different oral sex positions.
Yeah.
And it talks about how the position can affect the sensations
Totally.
and like how easy it is to reach certain areas.
Yeah.
So it covers like the classics, like where the receiver can just lie back and chill.
Right. Nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
And then there are more adventurous options like starfish on your
Yeah.
knees,
Yeah.
which this guy, Cole, says makes him feel powerful.
Yeah. Sitting,
Yes.
face sitting,
Yeah.
from behind
Yeah.
sideways,
Yeah.
wrap around,
Yeah.
plow pose, bottoms up,
Yeah.
deep throat,
Yeah.
and of course 69.
Yeah, the classic 69. And we even hear from this guy, Matt, who really enjoys the classic position.
Yeah.
Like he likes to keep things simple.
Yeah.
And this other guy, Grant, found face sitting really enjoyable,
Oh, yeah?
especially when it was combined with anal play.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's something for everyone.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
And the book even talks about using erotic furniture and supports
Yeah.
to like enhance these positions.
Right.
And it gives you some tips for doing it on the road,
Yeah.
like in a car or something,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But with all these possibilities,
Right.
the book also points out some common mistakes.
Gotta avoid those.
Yeah.
Like using your teeth.
Yeah. No one wants that.
Right.
Ignoring other erogenous zones.
Yeah, don't just focus on the genitals.
Yeah.
Like there are other areas that can feel good too.
Right.
Being too rough with the scrotum.
Yeah.
That's a delicate area.
Be gentle.
Yeah.
Not being present in the moment.
Yeah, like pay attention to your partner. Don't just zone out.
Right.
And letting the receiver take control in a way that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, consent is important.
Always.
Yeah.
There's this woman, Christiana, who talks about a bad experience
Oh, yeah.
where a guy grabbed her head
Yeah.
and like forced her to do something she didn't want to do.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Not okay at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, consent is crucial.
Yeah.
Always make sure your partner is into it.
Yeah, and a really practical thing that people don't always think about
Yeah.
is breathing.
Oh, yeah, you gotta breathe.
Right.
Like, it sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people forget.
Yeah, in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
So the book gives you some tips for that, like
Yeah.
tilting your head to open your airway,
Yeah.
breathing through your nose,
Yeah.
using your fingers to stimulate while you take a break to breathe,
Yeah. Good idea.
and even like more advanced techniques like circular breathing
Yeah.
and yawning to relax your throat muscles.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, yawning really helps to open up your throat. Yeah. So, yeah, don't forget to breathe, people.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
And then the book talks about some common concerns
Yeah.
both partners might have.
Yeah.
So for the giver,
Yeah.
it could be things like self-consciousness about their performance,
Yeah.
guilt or obligation,
Yeah.
gagging jaw and tongue fatigue,
Yeah.
and like specific challenges if the guy's well endowed.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the receiver, it could be things like erectile dysfunction,
Yeah.
premature ejaculation,
Yeah.
feeling vulnerable,
Yeah.
and like whether to use a condom.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's this guy, Gianni, who talks about like feeling emotionally connected to swallowing. Like it's a really personal thing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to address these concerns.
Totally.
Like the book talks about overcoming inhibitions and aversions.
Yeah.
And it acknowledges that like psychological factors can play a role, and like past negative experiences,
Yeah.
like sexual abuse.
Yeah.
There's this guy, Dan, who talks about how his body reacts in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Like it just shuts down.
Yeah.
And the book offers strategies for like associating sex with relaxation.
Yeah.
And it emphasizes that oral sex should never be a trade-off.
Right.
Like you should never feel pressured to do it.
Yeah, it should be something you want to do,
Yeah.
not something you feel obligated to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the book talks about the health and relationship benefits of oral sex, like
Yeah.
stress relief,
Yeah.
greater intimacy,
Yeah.
better sleep,
Yeah.
mood boost.
Yeah.
Like all good things. Yeah, it's good for you.
It is.
And it even addresses the age-old question of whether it's okay to kiss after oral sex.
Yeah.
And the answer is,
It depends.
it depends
Yeah.
on you and your partner.
Yeah, whatever you're both comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the book debunks some common myths.
Oh.
Like you can't get pregnant from swallowing. There's
Yeah.
no one right way to do it. Ejaculate doesn't have cosmetic benefits.
Yeah.
Not all men want to be swallowed.
Yeah.
And you're not going to pee during orgasm. Like
Yeah.
those are all myths.
Yeah, good to clear those up.
Yeah.
And then the book talks about how important it is to have a positive view of your own genitals.
Yeah.
Like if you're insecure about your body, it can affect your enjoyment of oral sex.
Totally.
And it mentions some studies that link positive self-perceptions to greater sexual activity and orgasm.
Yeah.
And it talks about how men often have insecurities about penis size,
Yeah.
but most women actually prioritize girth over length.
Yeah.
Like the book even cites stats from the British Journal of Urology.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it also talks about the uncircumcised penis. Like hygiene is important.
Yes.
And the foreskin can provide unique sensations.
Right.
And it touches on pubic hair.
Yeah.
And the role of smell and taste.
Yeah.
Like it's all connected.
Yeah, totally.
And then, of course, there's the big question.
Yeah.
Spit or swallow.
Spit or swallow, the age-old debate.
Right.
So the book acknowledges that people have different preferences,
Yeah.
and it stresses that it should be a mutual decision.
Totally.
Like it's not a test of devotion.
Yeah. Like if you don't want to swallow, you don't have to.
Right.
It offers some alternatives.
Yeah.
And it includes a perspective from this woman, Hunter,
Oh, yeah.
who talks about when she chooses to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, communication is key.
It is.
Like always.
Always.
Yeah.
And the book really emphasizes that, like
Mhm.
talking openly and honestly about oral sex is so important.
Yeah.
Like, it can help you address issues, enhance the eroticism, and foster intimacy.
Yeah.
It even gives you some rules of engagement for having respectful conversations about sex.
Yeah, those are helpful.
Yeah.
And it offers advice on how to initiate these conversations.
Yeah.
And, like, pay attention to nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
And it reminds you not to get distracted in the middle of things.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It is funny.
Yeah.
And it talks about how the roles can be fluid during oral sex.
Yeah.
Like, the giver can be active.
Yeah.
And the receiver can still have control through their reactions.
Right.
Yeah.
And we hear from this couple, Ray and Celia,
Oh, yeah.
who talk about how open communication has strengthened their relationship.
Yeah.
And they even have like fun little signals for initiating oral sex. Like,
Right.
it's all about creating a shared language around pleasure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And to keep things hot.
Yeah. Got to keep it spicy.
Right.
The book suggests using different kinds of talk during oral sex.
Yeah.
Like affectionate talk, romantic talk, sensual talk, seductive talk, and even dirty talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
And it highlights the power of sounds.
Yeah, like moaning.
Yeah, moaning is
Yeah,
great. Like,
yeah.
this guy Nate even calls it oral sex.
Oral sex. I like that.
Yeah.
And finally, the book talks about safer sex.
Yeah, important topic.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oral sex isn't inherently safe.
Right.
There are still risks.
Yeah, like STIs.
Yeah, STIs, like HIV, herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia.
Yeah.
And we even hear from this woman, Carrie, who's worried about HPV.
Yeah.
Like, it's a real concern.
Yeah.
So the book outlines factors that increase the risk and stresses the importance of knowing your status.
Yeah. Get tested, people.
Yeah.
And it gives you some safer sex strategies, like using condoms,
Yeah.
both latex and polyurethane,
Yeah.
and even flavored ones.
Yeah.
Dental dams,
Yeah.
latex gloves, finger cuts,
Yeah.
like all sorts of barriers.
And it emphasizes using them correctly and consistently.
Yeah.
Like, don't get lazy.
All right.
And it talks about talking to your partner about sexual health
Yeah.
and setting your own rules
Yeah.
and being mindful of healing time for piercings.
Yeah.
Like, if you just got a piercing, give it time to heal before you do anything with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is to be curious
Yeah.
and communicate with your partner.
Always.
Yeah, like really understand and respect each other's desires and boundaries.
Yeah.
That's the key to the fulfilling and enjoyable sexual experience.
Totally.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just a starting point. Like,
Yeah.
the journey of sexual discovery never really ends.
Right.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep talking to your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, I'll leave you with this thought. Like, how could being more open about sex, even the really intimate stuff like oral sex, how could that not only make your experiences better, but also strengthen your connection with your partner?
Yeah.
Like, it's something to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time. Expert Speaker.